Hey guys, it's me, your dungeon master, your best friend, and your speech giver. I'm here today to toast to our dungeon master, our best friend, and our big brother. That's right, the funny boy himself, Griffin McElroy. This man, this absolute wonder of a guy. This is the man that brought so much joy and pain and tears and several minor obsessions, and a dice addiction. This is the guy that wrote and ran the Adventure Zone Balance. This man and his brothers, but who cares about them? I'm joking. We love the guys. Not only did they manage to make the best D&D podcast ever, but Griffin also runs approximately 500 other podcasts, and all of them are just as funny. Now, I personally am not that funny, so if this speech falls flat, feel free to heckle me. I can take that, and I think it might make this whole experience a little bit better. But this man managed to make a D&D podcast that doesn't fall flat and doesn't need heckling, not once. It was a group effort, sure, but the story, the pizzazz, the voice acting for I think 1,000,001 characters, all Mr. Griffin McElroy himself. He managed to create an immersive world, one that I would absolutely positively hate to live in. I I I'm not the kind of person that should be living in a world with magic or dragons or dungeons. I just couldn't do it. But Griffin, if I had to live in one, I would live in his. That has to count for something. Uh, I run Dungeons and Dragons, if you didn't know, which if you know me, you know I never actually shut up about running Dungeons and Dragons, so that's kind of a thing. But I want to be just like Griffin because Griffin, he can evoke emotions from everyone involved in the game. His brothers and his dad, yeah, the people who, are playing the game with him, but also the people that are sitting at home or in their car or listening on Space Mountain and Disney World. And those emotions are always the most intense things ever. There is no halfway with this man's writing. It's either on the floor laughing so hard you're crying, or on the floor crying so hard your roommate offers to buy you a milkshake. Yeah, I'm speaking from experience. Um, but I wouldn't call the fandom that follows the Adventure Zone a cult, but it is definitely devoted, and that is 100% because of Griffin's storytelling. I mean, what other group of people who have never seen the characters, by the way, this is a podcast with like no added videos, only what fans create, uh, would make a hat with a brim so wide that it can't fit through a doorway, all because of a character's costume. Because Griffin inspires people to create above all, whether that be writing stories about his characters, creating costumes or songs, or animating entire portions of the podcast, or even just writing their own individual stories, such as what I ended up doing. There's nothing like seeing the faces of the people that you're telling the stories for, because that's one thing that Griffin taught me and hundreds of other DMs. You aren't telling the story to anyone, you're telling a story for them. There's nothing like seeing their faces light up at the sight of their favorite character, or fall flat when the big bad is about to kill them. It's funny, I promise. Griffin McElroy is a fantastic DM, fantastic writer, probably a pretty good brother if what I hear is correct. And when he steps outside the bounds of D&D to one of his 1,000,001 other podcasts, yes, that number has increased in the 4 minutes this speech has taken. Um, or he goes on YouTube, or he just opens Twitter, honestly, that involves less crying and more just side burning laughter. So here's a toast to Griffin, the funniest boy, and also a really amazing man. Thank you.